Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Joy Winter Fashionista card. I have all of my pieces cut out, as should you, and we're just gonna jump right in here, take a look at what we have. Our card base, I've already pre-folded it. Now you'll notice that we have some holes in them, and that is by design, just trying something a little different. And that's also gonna help us with the alignment of this little piece here. So speaking of that, may as well just start there. Let's get our glue going onto this panel. Now this is the panel that you can use to do your, to write your sentiment, your little greeting. If you're still stamping, you can stamp. Or if you're super savvy with your machine, you can do a print to cut, or maybe even you can do, you can use your pen tool to actually write your message using, I would recommend a single line font. Okay, so let's just match this up using the little holes there. Get the top two, and the bottom two should just kind of fall into place. And just pop that right in. Okay. And that's really it for the inside. Okay, as far as the exterior goes, what you'll notice on the face of the card is that we have two little markers on top here and two down here. Up here, they're like little L-shaped. Here, they're just single lines. Okay, and I'll explain why and how to use them. We're gonna take this piece and flip it over, begin applying our glue. This is gonna get glued to our little snowflake pattern paper here. Okay, just make sure you get enough glue, especially around the perimeter. The inside is probably not as important. And then maybe just a few little streaks there. Okay, so just line this up, pop it into place. And it should be flush on the bottom and the left and right. Just make sure that it is. There we go, beautiful. Okay, so now these little guides here at the bottom are to help you get this centered. Okay, so this is for centering of this part of the this piece that we're gluing down. And then for up here we have two little corner pieces that are going to go right in there. So let's flip this around, apply our glue, and get what is essentially the foundation of this card in place. Just a little more around the perimeter. Okay, and again, using the little guides here to make sure we get it centered and flush on the bottom. There we go, pop that into place. Just kind of running my finger along the bottom, making sure everything is sitting in the correct spot. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's take these two little corner pieces, and those are going to go right here where we have the, let me just make sure that these are symmetrical. I believe they are. I'll flip it over. Yeah, they're symmetrical pieces, so it doesn't really matter which way you put it. For some reason, it doesn't look symmetrical to me right now. But okay, and this little corner piece is going to go right here where you have that little marker. Make sure that it's nice and straight. There we go. Take a look at that. And we'll put the other one in place. And then we just need to put Miss Joy in place. And that one goes right there. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at Joy here. I've already sort of started layering the pieces here. I'll just kind of move them out of the way, like so. Okay, so this piece here, let me show you here. Two things you'll notice is one, we have a little reveal here where the collar is, and then also this piece has a few little markers to help you with the positioning of her eyes. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and glue it to this piece. Okay, and if you are inking this, what I would do, and this is what I actually did, was I took these pieces and put them on top and just kind of put it together without putting it together, without glue, so I could see exactly where I need to put ink. No sense in inking this whole thing when only parts of it are going to be visible. So if you take this piece and put it on top of this piece, you'll see that only this area and this area needed to be inked. And the same applies to the face. The face on this color is the only thing that's going to be visible ultimately when we get everything layered. Okay, so no sense again in spending all that time inking this entire piece when it's going to just be hidden by the next successive layer here. Okay, so next we're going to put this black layer down. Okay, just like that. I'm going to make sure you get that as lined up as possible, since we do have a bit of a bright color here. You don't want it to show too much if you don't get it lined up correctly. Okay. Just working the perimeter with my glue here. Doing little circles because there's a lot of little scalloped elements throughout, and it just seems to be the most efficient pattern for laying down my glue. Okay, again, get that nice and matched up as accurately as you can. Try not to have too much of that layer behind it showing. Now what you could do, once we get this all put together, we'll take another look at it. If you have, these highlights actually don't look too bad. And I think they're gonna pretty much go away once we finish layering everything. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Okay, next, we're gonna take and put down this purple pattern. That's gonna go right here, like so. Okay, yeah, you can see that that previous layer that was kind of showing through pretty much vanishes at this point. So I don't even think we need to talk about it. But what I was gonna say is, if you have previous layers that are kind of showing through along the sides and you don't like it, well, you can always take a little bit of ink and just kind of run it along the edge to hide that. In my case, I probably would have gone with a purple or a black, but I don't even think it's going to be an issue. Okay, so that's going to go right on like that, just matching it up with these little scallops here on her fur coat. Make sure the bottom's nice and flush, press that down. Perfect. Okay. Now the only elements that are dimensional are the hand and this element. Everything else is going to go on flat. Okay, so next what we'll do is we're going to take this white piece, and this white piece is going to go in just like a little puzzle, and it's going to go right there. And on top of that, we're going to layer the pattern paper for her hat and a few other little things here and there. Okay, there we go. And just pop that in there, line it up as accurately as you can. And you can see here I strategically just inked the part around the collar and just left that part alone. Didn't really need it. Okay, the hat is going to go here like so. So let's get our glue going. And definitely spend some time inking these projects. Will really bring them to life. The assembly doesn't take that long, so you may as well spend a little extra time prettying it up with some additional color. Adds beautiful depth and dimension to the project. Okay, so there's the hat. Looks great. You know what, let me grab my little pick-me-up tool here. I'm gonna put her eye and her mouth in place here. It's a pretty delicate little piece. I've got an eyelash. So there's an eyelash at the bottom and then one that's almost at the top but not quite. So her eyes are not completely wide open. Okay, just one little dot of glue on this piece, and I would actually even thin that out with your finger just so it doesn't go squirting all over the place. And then use those little guides, those little markers there, to help you with the positioning. That was actually just stuck to my finger. There we go. Just like that. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's grab the lips and the tail of the lip is going to be over on the right hand side where the little round parts are going to the left. Just one little dot of glue on that. Don't need to overdo it. And just match it up with the shadow on the previous layer. Okay. I'm using a little razor blade to help me move that. You can use some tweezers, whatever works for you. And there you have it. It's pretty difficult to make facial features work at such a small scale with paper, but I think they did a great job with that. Okay, so next let's finish up the hat here. Okay, and that's going to go right here like so. It's a nice fur pattern that we found in our stash. I hit that with a little bit of turquoise just to add a pop of color to it. Okay, and the pom-pom. There we go. And there we go, just like that. Okay, so she's done. And again, we just have a few little layers that we need to add to her. But you can see where she's going to go. She's going to go right there, like so. And we are actually going to glue this down flat, and the rest of it will be dimensional. Okay, so let's get our glue flowing here. Let's work it all the way around the perimeter. Like that. A little squiggly in the center. And just match it up with the existing shadow element around the window. Make sure it's flush at the bottom so that it sits up or stands up properly. Obviously, people will want to display it. Okay, perfect. All right, so this piece is going down next. It's a single layer, and we are going to use some foam squares to add some dimension to this. So grab your foam squares and just start applying them around the perimeter of this piece. Now, since this is a single layer, I would advise going a little bit heavier with the application of your foam squares, just to make sure it stays in place and doesn't bend too much. I think I'm going to do one more here. Okay, let's peel those off and get that in place. And then we have 3 layers to assemble with a little splash of color for the rose. And this one, could put a fork in it. Pretty much done. It's a gorgeous little bundle. You guys are going to have a blast, just like you had with the 2 previous sets of lady cards. There we go. Okay, so that looks good. All right, let's put this part together here. Green layer in the back. This is, I think, AC Shrimp. Let's go ahead and apply glue to this entire piece. And definitely get some on the fingertip. We don't want that coming off. And just line that up as accurately as you can. And again, you can see I strategically just inked the hand and nothing else. I did hit the green part of the stem of the rose a little bit, but for the most part, not a lot of inking once you isolate the areas that actually need it and avoid the ones that don't. Saves you a lot of time and resources for that matter. Okay, line that up. There we go. Okay, don't forget to add the rose. It's just a tiny little piece here. I'd say maybe 2 tiny dots of glue will do. And pop that into place. Mine's way off. Make sure you're getting it in the right spot. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now as far as the placement on this goes, what we're going to do, we are going to use some foam squares. And you'll notice that this and this share the same design there as far as the scallops go. So you know exactly where it needs to go. For this, on the hand, I would double up the foam squares because it's technically going down 2 layers. And then for the rest of this, a single foam square will probably be more than enough. So we'll pop that off. Okay, flip that around. And again, match this up with this piece here. Pardon my head if it's in the frame. And there we go. Fix that rose a little bit. And there she is. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful little card. Okay. And yeah, it seems like there'd be more, but there's not. That's it. Now we do have a coordinating envelope to go along with the actual card, which I have here in front of me. Now we're going to give this flap, the top flap, sort of a two-tone look. So let's open this up. Obviously you want to fold everything, pre-fold everything. And let's get our glue going on this flap here. And work that glue around the perimeter, a little bit on the inside, a little bit around the design. And then take this flap. I have texture on one side, texture side out. Just kind of bring this up so they're both about 45 degrees from the table and center it, push it up against that fold, make sure it's centered, and then just bring it down. Nice and quick. Okay, hold that down. Make sure everything makes good contact. Okay. And we do have the other part of the rose here. And you can see where this is going to go. Naturally, right there, you can see the little leaf. Okay, so that's going to go right there. Let's flip this over and go nice and easy with the glue here. Get some glue on the leaves, like that, and like that. There we go. And we'll flip that over, pop it into place. And there we go. Okay. So now all that's left to do is bring these two in and apply our glue along the inside of each side, like so. And then bring up the bottom, close it up, kind of massage that glue in. And that's going to do it. Okay, so you can see this is a very festive looking card, especially with that beautiful red. Okay, it goes in there beautifully. All right, so that's going to do it for our Joy card. This is one of 3 new Winter Fashionista cards. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our new bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. You'll find myself and over 40,000 dreamers hanging out there, inspiring us on a daily basis. So join us if you can. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.
Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos. And also, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.